how are you doing? I actually spoke about the NARS Cosmetics Foundation yesterday, and I did mention about MAC. So the MAC one is NC20, and actually it's a pretty decent shade on me. And the reason why it's two different shades is, let me go over this because I know a lot of you guys will point it out. Whatever foundation or for the highlighting ones, whatever, like I normally would dab it on my hand, especially if they have like bigger brushes or if they don't have like a pump or a brush or anything like that. I will end up scooping it into this and the additional ones because obviously some of them I would have a hard time putting back in, especially since the top parts are really small or anything like that. Hence why there were two shades, and then kind of realized that the color I actually didn't pop up in my first time. I think I kind of realized this afterwards. Wait, hold on, the shades may mix up. But surprisingly, it actually still worked out pretty well for my skin tone. Hence why it is two different shades. But I stopped doing that whole mixing thing. But again, like I said, it kind of worked out, especially since my when I usually buy the highlighter, it's either the same shade as my skin tone or like the makeup the foundation colors, or I go slightly lighter, like a shade lighter, just in case. But for the most part, the highlighting, yeah, highlighters is normally like a shade lighter, and then the concealers is like a shade or two darker. So hence why it looks two different colors. And I know it was pretty obvious. Um, but it's almost finished, and I'm not really planning on buying another MAC product. Um, my main issue with the MAC foundation really is it doesn't have a pump or anything, or even a brush. Since it's a foundation, I wouldn't expect it to have a brush. Um, but it does not have a pump. Whatever foundations I have bought so far, in general over my last few years, I never seen if company provide a foundation without a pump. I think that's where the plus point comes into play with NARS, because I actually like the pump that it comes with. And I already bought MAC foundation like twice or three times already. And I think since I recently bought NARS and I fell in love with it, I actually honestly would prefer to use the NARS or the MAC foundation. And even I would prefer to use the Fenty Cosmetics by Rihanna, honestly, their foundation over this as well. I wish I was doing reviews back then when I was using the Fenty Beauty one. I think I only bought it once, and that was like probably like 2 years ago. Not even, more like 2.5, I guess. I will definitely buy that one again just for the review purposes, but I have to make sure that I am buying the right shade for that one. So I'll have to go double check that shade out beforehand just in case, because I don't want to give a bad review just based on the color. And once again, I personally use the NC20. I believe, if I'm not wrong, MAC is not the greatest with the color selection. I don't remember how the NARS, because I think the NARS may fall in the same category. I don't remember. But the NARS Cosmetics ones, I personally use 3.5, and it works wonders. It works perfectly fine for me. Just a reminder, NARS Cosmetics ones, it's more of like a creamy texture, and it's full coverage. However, for me, MAC Cosmetics will be more on the medium-ish size, so it's not really full coverage. And this one is more of a liquid based. So let me show it to you guys real quick. And once again, yes, I will be using this napkin roll. Hold on, guys. Oops. All right. So, okay. What the hell? All right. So obviously, dab, 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 dab until something comes out. Oh, I'm surprised this came out relatively quick today. Normally it takes me quite a few attempts to even get the product out. I have my beauty blender here. Normally, again, what I would do is I would dab only a little bit to put it on my face. I'm not going to use it on my hand today because I have way too much, and I did that mistake with the NARS Cosmetics. Again, it does cover pretty well, like you can tell. So, I mean, it blends pretty well. So, like I said, I don't really have much of an issue with the whole liquid or creamy texture, to say the least. My main issue is the whole, like I have to pump my hands, not pump my hands, but I have to kind of like, I have to dab it like I showed it to you. Like I have to kind of go like up and down like this, to take it out. And honestly, that kind of is like really annoying. So that is one of my the pet peeve really is one, like when there's no pump for the foundations, because I prefer the pump is a lot easier. Like pump once, it'll come out, and that kind of saves the amount of product that I want to use, because since this is liquid, obviously, like I guess since there's no pump, it makes sense to have a liquid foundation. So it can come out easier, but I feel like even if it's liquid, it just makes sense to have a pump one, because it kind of controls the amount that's coming out. When something like this, you can't really you can to a certain extent control the amount that's coming out, but that wouldn't happen every time. With something like NARS Cosmetics, I can just pump once, use that much, and then if I need more, I can just pump out a little bit more. And I'd rather have the benefit of the doubt of not wasting product. So like that, I know that I'm using it for a longer term, even though there is an expiration date. The plus side to it is that it has SPF 15 though. That's the plus side I can say. The other pet peeve that I normally have is when I did go over this before with one of the I went over the Too Faced reviews that I did not too long ago. I think I did in January. The brush is relatively thick, and I hate those. Well, I shouldn't say I hate those, but it's just not really helpful. Especially when you have to do like when you fill in your eyebrows and you put it around the put the product around your eyebrows. The thick brush does not help. And I prefer the thin ones. And I know that oftentimes when the what's it called, when the product bottle is something like kind of like this big, then yeah, I get it, they would have like the bigger brush. However, and then when the product is relatively like on a thinner end, yes, I get it, thinner brushes, but I would rather just buy something that has a thinner brush. So that's just really my other pet peeve, honestly. But it does match my skin tone. And I know that oftentimes, what I've noticed is that, when you try to go compare, foundation for your skin tones, and, normally if you just randomly searching, like comparing, foundation colors, like this one is NC20, so oftentimes those websites will have MAC be compared to the other shades. Like if you're NC20, then you're this color in this company. If you're this shade in MAC, then you're this shade in this company. So they're kind of doing compare and contrast with MAC, which I don't know why, honestly speaking. I'm assuming there is something to it, I guess. But then think about it, like something like Fenty Beauty, which has a lot, like way more shades. I believe that's one of the relatively few companies, if any at all, that has probably one of the most shades available. I feel like a lot of people can actually go and be like, okay, I can rely on finding close to, if not exactly the same shade I can possibly with that company, which not quite a lot of companies you can say that about. So I feel like in that case, I don't know how you would be comparing MAC to something like Fenty Beauty because of the shade ranges. Um, but yeah, but then but I would recommend this if you're okay with no pump. I personally don't want no pump. So once I finish with MAC, I'm officially done with MAC foundation. But I actually like the lipsticks. I'm not gonna lie. But other than that, I will be linking both my Instagram pages down below. Make sure to follow them, hit the subscribe button, the bell button, and I'll be back for more. Stay safe and stay tuned, guys.